Key realities: sorrow is a typical mental problem. Around the world, it is assessed that 5% of grown-ups experienced the ill effects of sadness. Misery is a main source of incapacity overall and is a significant supporter of the in general worldwide weight of sickness. A greater number of ladies are impacted by misery than men. Discouragement can prompt self-destruction. There is powerful treatment for gentle, moderate, and extreme despondency. Outline: misery is a typical sickness around the world, with an expected 3.8% of the populace impacted, including 5.0% among grown-ups and 5.7% among grown-ups more established than 60 years. 1. Roughly 280 million individuals on the planet have wretchedness. 1. Despondency is not quite the same as expected state of mind variances and fleet and close-to-home reactions to challenges in regular day-to-day existence. Particularly when intermittent and with moderate or extreme force, gloom might turn into a serious medical issue. It can make the impacted individual endure extraordinarily and capability in effectively working, at school and in the family. Even from a pessimistic standpoint, discouragement can prompt self-destruction. More than 700,000 individuals bite the dust because of self-destruction consistently. Self-destruction is the fourth driving reason for death in 15-29-year-olds. Despite the fact that there are known, viable medicines for mental problems, over 75% of individuals in low and center pay nations get no treatment. 2. Boundaries to viable consideration incorporate an absence of assets, absence of prepared medical services suppliers, and social disgrace related with mental problems. In nations of all pay levels, individuals who experience melancholy are frequently not accurately analyzed, and other people who don't have the issue are time and again misdiagnosed and recommended antidepressants. Side effects and examples: during a burdensome episode, the individual encounters discouraged temperament, feeling miserable, touchy, vacant, or a deficiency of delight or interest in exercises, for the majority of the day, essentially consistently, for something like 14 days. A few different side effects are likewise present, which might incorporate unfortunate fixation, sensations of over-the-top responsibility or low self-esteem, sadness about the future, contemplations about biting the dust or self-destruction, upset rest, changes in hunger or weight, and feeling particularly drained or low in energy. In a few social settings, certain individuals might communicate their temperament changes all the more promptly as real side effects, for example torment, exhaustion, shortcoming. However, these actual side effects are not because of another ailment. During a burdensome episode, the individual encounters huge trouble in private, family, social, instructive, word-related, as well as other significant areas of working. A burdensome episode can be classified as gentle, moderate, or extreme, relying upon the number and seriousness of side effects, as well as the effect on the singular's working. There are various examples of temperament problems, including single episode burdensome confusion, meaning the individual's sole episode. Repetitive burdensome issue, meaning the individual has a past filled with something like 2 burdensome episodes, and bipolar turmoil, implying that burdensome episodes substitute with times of hyper side effects, which incorporate rapture or touchiness, expanded movement or energy, and different side effects like expanded garrulity, dashing considerations, expanded confidence, diminished need for rest, distractibility, and imprudent careless way of behaving. contributing variables and anticipation. Discouragement results from a mind-boggling connection of social, mental, and organic elements. Individuals who have carried on with unfavorable life-altering situations, joblessness, mourning, horrible mishaps, are bound to foster sorrow. Sorrow can, thus, lead to more pressure and brokenness and demolish the impacted individual's life circumstance and the actual downturn. There are interrelationships among wretchedness and actual well-being. For instance, cardiovascular infection can prompt discouragement as well as the other way around. Avoidance programs have been displayed to diminish sadness. Compelling people group ways to deal with forestall discouragement. Incorporate school-based projects to upgrade. An example of positive adapting in youngsters and teenagers. Mediations for guardians of kids with social issues might decrease parental burdensome side effects and further develop results for their youngsters. Practice programs for more established people can likewise be successful in sadness avoidance. Finding and treatment. There are successful medicines for sadness. Contingent upon the seriousness and example of burdensome episodes over the long run, medical care suppliers might offer mental therapies like social enactment, mental conduct treatment and relational psychotherapy, or potentially energizer prescription like specific serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, and tricyclic antidepressants, TCAs. Various drugs are utilized for bipolar turmoil. Medical services suppliers ought to remember the conceivable antagonistic impacts related with stimulant drug, the capacity to convey either mediation, regarding ability, as well as therapy accessibility, and individual inclinations. Different mental treatment designs for thought incorporate individual or potentially bunch up close and personal mental medicines conveyed by experts and regulated lay advisors. Antidepressants are not the main line of treatment for gentle misery. They ought not be utilized for treating wretchedness in youngsters and are not the first line of treatment in quite a while, among whom they ought to be utilized with additional mindfulness. WHO Reaction whose Psychological Well-Being Activity Plan 2013 to 2030 features the means expected to give suitable intercessions to individuals with mental issues including gloom. Despondency is one of the need conditions covered by WHO's Emotional Well-Being Whole Activity Program, VGAP. The program expects to assist nations with expanding administrations for individuals with mental, neurological and substance use issues through care given by well-being laborers who are not experts in psychological well-being. WHO has created brief mental mediation manuals for misery that might be conveyed by lay specialists to people and gatherings. A model is the issue the board in addition to manual, which depicts the utilization of conduct enactment, stress the executives, critical thinking treatment and fortifying social help. Additionally, the Gathering Relational Treatment for Wretchedness Manual depicts sponge treatment of misery. At last, the Reasoning Solid Manual covers the utilization of mental conduct treatment for perinatal wretchedness.